Commonwealth is represented by ADA Bill O'Driscoll, and defendants represented by Attorney Rosemary Scaficcio and Attorney Nicole Scaficcio. Counsel, kindly identify yourself for the court in the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. William O'Driscoll, the Commonwealth.
O'Driscoll, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Rosemary Scaficcio on behalf of Mr. King, and I'm also standing in on the gun case as well. But I think we notified the court that I would stand in on that case for the purposes of this warrant.
All right.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Nicole Scaficcio on behalf of Mr.
Hi.
King.
Counsel, nice to see you. All right, so Commonwealth, I'll hear you on this.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. King was out on bail in the two dockets. We were notified yesterday that he had been arrested and indicted by the federal government, and he is currently in custody of the federal government. We're asking for a warrant to issue. We did file a motion to revoke his bail in both cases, but has to reserve our rights on that motion for when he's brought in.
All right. Attorney Scaficcio, you want?
I'm asking this bail be revoked now, Judge. I don't think there's any need to wait. I don't want him to do dead time. So to the extent that we can revoke the bail now on both cases, and these are warrants there if that's what the Commonwealth wants to do. I don't know much about the federal case, Judge, but I get it. But I just want the record to reflect that last time we were in court, we filed a proctor motion that I know you can't hear, Judge, but I'd like to get it heard sooner rather than later. And today we filed a motion regarding the state police crime lab. We're not asking for any action on it today, but I would like it marked up. I don't think we're back here until June.
June 18th is the next
June.
date.
So I'm hoping that you can give the Commonwealth a date to respond sometime before the day before the next date. So if they're going to respond in writing to the motion, I just don't want to be reading it next time before I'm getting it before the court. So if we can get a response date for them, maybe a month before, would be great.
So we're going to, I see. So we're going to, the request is to revoke the bail.
Yes. Do we have to hear it?
He's in custody.
He is.
So then the
I've
question.
spoken to his federal defender, I've spoken to the U.S. Marshal's office, and I've spoken to somebody who was actually in court yesterday. He's being detained without bail in the federal court. I do not represent him on that matter, Judge, but I have every confidence that the federal government's not inclined to let him out.
All right. So why don't we do this? We'll go step by step. So Commonwealth, I'm going to issue warrant. But I'm going to allow the motion to revoke the defendant's release as of today.
Thank you, Your Honor. All
right. So like that on both the cases. That's on 21 CR 320 and 21 CR 315.
Yes, Judge. And then I'm just looking for a response date on the motion for discovery regarding the state police database.
Right.
And just by way of background, I know we're not deciding, but just to give you an idea of what's involved, Judge. The Commonwealth disclosed to us a database that they call a corrective action database. It deals with all of the state police experts. Essentially what it is it's a database of every time they make a mistake. And it could be as simple as they use the wrong letterhead to they individualize a print to the wrong person. And so every time that happens, there's an entry and then there's an investigation, there's underlying documentation to that, and it gets resolved one way or the other. Sometimes they're transferred out of the unit, sometimes they're retrained, but we typically don't get that information. Commonwealth in this case gave us that information. And so of the 22 experts that are involved in, I'm sorry, of how many, 6?
In King, there's more, I can't remember.
So there's a number of experts that are involved in King. We went through every single solitary expert. We went through the database and we have identified all of the entries to each expert. And now what we're asking is the Commonwealth give us the underlying data that should be in the state police lab for all of those entries so that we can do our due diligence in our investigation. And I think in Mr. King, we have a January trial date.
Yes.
So I'm looking for them to respond before the next court date. So if there's any dispute about what we're asking for, or any argument in the Commonwealth that they don't think we get the underlying data, I want to be able to make an intelligent argument and not be reading the motion on the way into the courtroom.
Commonwealth?
No objections to that, Your Honor.
I think that makes sense. And so when's the next date?
June 18th.
June 18th?
So you're not going to hear
I'm not going to be able to hear that.
I believe Judge Crump will be hearing that, correct?
No.
No, I think it's a Zoom. That's a Zoom.
Is he going to hear that by Zoom, Judge Crump?
That's what the plan was.
Yeah.
Then schedule a motion to dismiss.
So we might have to come in before that then. How long do you need to, you haven't even read it, but I mean, give them a couple of weeks, Judge, to respond, and then if there's a disagreement, then maybe we can mark it up for a hearing.
If you can reply within 2 weeks, if after reviewing it, you find that you need more time, then you can speak to council and bring it forward. But if you think 2 weeks will do it, at least then we'll give a date that we can kind of get that.
I'll speak with the other ADAs on the matter, because I know we just got the motion to dismiss that we have to work on.
So why don't Commonwealth will respond 2 weeks, whatever.
The 21st? 22nd,
All right.
2 weeks before what?
to respond.
2 weeks from today, the judge is.
Oh, I thought you.
Yeah.
22nd.
All right. And then you want to keep that 18th date?
And the reason we have the 18th date, Judge, because I know you haven't been involved in the case, but we are filing our motion to dismiss based on the Proctor stuff today. The Commonwealth already has a date to reply. Once Judge Proctor reads both sets of motions, we're going to have a Zoom conference, he said, to determine what the next step is, whether it's a continuation of the evidentiary hearing or it's something different than that.
So the 18th, just so we have a date, is that just a status or scheduling date?
There's a status regarding the motions to dismiss.
Okay. All right. So why don't we keep that, so at least there's a date, and then whatever date you end up dealing with Judge Krupp, then at least we'll figure that out. So we got a date, we've got a date to respond. We have the allowance of the motion to revoke. Anything else we have to
Not at this
do with
time.
that?
Please, Sir Your Honor.
I would like it marked, I thought we were going forward on the Proctor motion today. I understand you can't, Judge. But my understanding was we were going to go forward on the Proctor motion to Mr. King today in terms of additional discovery. Commonwealth has had the motion for a while. They haven't responded. So again, if they could respond to that within the next 2 weeks, let me know what their position is. Maybe we don't need a hearing on it, Judge. Maybe they agree.
If at least this time you'll know that if it is on, it'll have to go into the other session. We can deal with it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Counsel. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great weekend.
Thank you.
Matters continued to June 18th, Commonwealth.
Oh, all right. As a reward for watching the hearing, good job, everyone. You watched the hearing. I am going to spend some time with Tell Girlfriend today, but as a reward for watching that quick 15-minute hearing, I'll give you a little bit of update on the wall. Now, you may have been saying to yourself, Grant, I have no idea what is going on in that Myles King case. Well, it's very complicated. It involves former state trooper Michael Proctor, okay? And the man that was just having his bail revoked, the reason he was out on bail, okay, on state charges, actually a state unaliving charge. And the day he got out of on bail, this man posts a picture of himself with weapons. Hi, Miss FAFO. Posts a picture of himself with weapons, and then over the next 8 months, according to the federal government, sold a bunch of drugs while on bail in Norfolk County. Now, what is my theory on all this? The Norfolk County case was compromised because one of the police investigators, Michael Proctor, had a bunch of terrible text messages on his phone, like saying things like inviting his buddies to the town of Canton for kill a N-word day. It was horrible. And those charges were never going to stick. In fact, the lawyer for King right there, Myles King, just referenced how she was going to submit, her name's Rosemary Scapicchio, she was going to submit a motion to dismiss the state charges because of the conduct of the investigator. Hello, Rachel. It's so good to see you. So, the reason why there was a bail revocation hearing today in the Myles King case is because this federal indictment, okay? It's at case number 126CR10147MJJ, filed yesterday, really, on the federal docket. King was arrested by the ATF. This is a 23-count indictment. King himself is only featured, I think, in counts 16, 21, and 22, and 23. I say only, but those are pretty rough counts. I mean, let me not understate it. One of them is King is charged in the conspiracy to distribute narcotics under 21 U.S.C. 846, and then he's charged, I think, count 21, count 22, and count 23. He made 3 sales to an undercover agent, or what are called controlled buys. He made the first one on March 11, 2026 in East Falmouth. He sold an ounce of crack. This is according to the federal government. He sold another ounce of crack on March 27th in Weymouth, 2026, and then he sold another ounce of crack on April 22nd in Weymouth. Okay, and then They also have a forfeiture allegation. So because he was arrested yesterday while he was on state bail, his state bail gets revoked. But what I think this was the federal government had to clean up the mess caused by that state trooper. This is the same unit that is alleged to have covered up Sandra Birchmore's murder, a young girl in Norfolk County who was tragically killed in 2021. And then for some reason, she was initially found to have taken her own life when in reality, a former cop from the town of Stoughton, who's now charged by the federal government, was probably responsible. The state police, three of whom, who worked for the Norfolk District Attorney, Michael Morrissey, who's like underling Greg Connor's trying to run against Adam Deutsch right now. Connor doesn't stand a chance. Adam Deutsch was a federal prosecutor who looked in for the public integrity section that looked into the corruption in the Sandra Birchmore case and the cover-up, and why three of these troopers, or at least two of them, Yuri Buchanan and John Fanning, had connections to the town of Stoughton and the Stoughton Police Department where Matthew Farwell worked, and why John Fanning personally wrote the report. He was Brian Tully's, the unit commanders, former unit commanders. Tully's now retired. Why John Fanning personally wrote the report. He was the executive officer of Tully's unit, exonerating Matthew Farwell. No one knows yet. Anyway, so this unit also allegedly framed Karen Reed for John O'Keefe's death. John O'Keefe was a Boston police officer working for the Sex Offenders Registration Unit, and he may have known a lot more about some of these situations than perhaps we know. Was Karen framed for John's murder because of what John knew about some of what was going on in Canton, Stoughton, and its environs? The Boston Police Sex Offender Registration Unit is known for doing undercover operations all throughout the state, including as far away as Fall River. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. While we're here, let me take you through a little bit of the war updates. Then I'm going to go hang out with Towel Girlfriend because it's Friday. And, you know, barring some kind of catastrophe, there's only been one update today. There were missiles fired at the north of Israel from Hezbollah. I'll show you those today. So you're getting a bonus war update. If you watch the hearing, yes, you are going to get a bonus towel war update. Hashtag I'm a towel. So let me show you what's been going on today. There was only one real update. It was a very concerning update. Well, there is an update out of the UK where the Reform UK party has picked up a shocking like 800 or 1,000 seats in the local parliamentary elections. The Labour Party took the biggest losses, over 600 or 700 seats lost in the local elections for Labour, over 300 seats lost for the Tories. Change UK is here, and they are here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. It is so good to see all of you today. God bless all of you for helping Towel. I sent my letter to the law school today. We'll find out Monday if I'm going to be able to get my JD. Hashtag Towel JD. Crack is whack. I agree. Okay, we're going to do a quick update, then I'm going to go hang out with Towel Girlfriend. You get a bonus war update even though this wasn't scheduled. Is that because the hearing was only 15 minutes? The day started with 2 rounds of attacks, okay? The first one was directed at the UAE. It caused hits at least near the Dubai airport. As I reported this morning at precisely 7:01 a.m., there was a massive round of Hezbollah fire towards the north of Israel. Hello, it's so good to see you, Kimberly McGuire. Just a quick stream today. This was just going to be a hearing. The Hezbollah fire resulted in interceptors launching to the north of Haifa. You're listening to the sounds of air raids and intercepts over Haifa earlier today. The UAE, for their part, released the following statement after they were attacked with a series of missiles and drones from Iran earlier today.
Conversation. The UAE air defenses engaged 2 ballistic missiles and 3 drones. The Ministry of Defense announced that on May 8, 2026, the UAE air defenses engaged 2 ballistic missiles and 3 drones originating from Iran, resulting in 3 moderate injuries. Since the start of Iran's brazen attacks on the state of the UAE, the air defenses have engaged 551 ballistic missiles, 29 cruise missiles, and 2,263 drones. This brings the total number of injuries to 230 injuries, from multiple nationalities including Emirati, Egyptian, Sudanese, Ethiopian, Filipino, Pakistani, Iranian, Indian, Bangladeshi, Sri Lankan, Azerbaijani, Yemeni, Ugandan, Eritrean, Lebanese, Afghan, and Russian. The total number of martyrs has also reached 3 martyrs, one of whom is a civilian of Moroccan nationality contracted with the armed forces, while the total number of civilians killed has reached 10 civilians from the following nationalities: Pakistani, Nepali, Bangladeshi, Palestinian, Indian, and
Egyptian. Taking you to the latest scenes now, where an Israeli interceptor misfired due to a mistaken detection of a launch from Iran. This was in Metula. That was a mistaken interception just minutes ago. Ben Burnett says GSE is the future of journalism in the scope of information distribution. God bless you, Ben. Here's President Trump's announcement just now. Some bonus war coverage before I go hang out with Towel Girlfriend.
Conversation.
About the Ukraine
Breaking.
ceasefire.
Trump. I am pleased to announce that there will be a 3-day ceasefire, May 9th, 10th, and 11th, in the war between Russia and Ukraine. The celebration in Russia is for Victory Day, but, likewise, in Ukraine, because they were also a big part and factor of World War II. This ceasefire will include a suspension of all kinetic activity, and also a prison swap of 1,000 prisoners from each country. This request was made directly by me, and I very much appreciate its agreement by President Vladimir Putin and President Volodymyr Zelensky. Hopefully, it is the beginning of the end of a very long, deadly, and hard-fought war. Talks are continuing on ending this major conflict, the biggest since World War II, and we are getting closer and closer every day. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Translation of Trump's new post, ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine.
Yes, thank you. Okay, here was the latest from Dubai, where the international airport was struck earlier today. Hello, Lavender and Rose. Just a quick stream. You're all getting some bonus war coverage after the Myles King hearing. Okay? I'm going to show you, by the way, the latest launch from Iran overnight. I have the latest pictures from you. For you, Iran actually did release a video of the attacks on the U.S. ships last night, so allow me to show you this video. And yes, it does have the Iran song, so allow me to find this for you. Where is the Iran song? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Iran released these images overnight. One second. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. Hold on one second. It was right after we went to bed last night. About an hour after we went to bed. Maybe it's this one. No, these are the pictures of Iranian soldiers seizing an oil tanker, though. These are pictures from Iranian state TV. Hello, Ozark Ridge Runner. Just a quick war update after the Myles King hearing today. These are images of the Iranian boats last night boarding one of the vessels, one of the oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. You could see the Iranian forces climbing up a ladder. This was released via Iranian state TV. And then raising the Iranian flag over the boat. This was the boat Ocean Koi. Allow me to find for you, by the way, that Iranian video, if you would give me 1 second. Here it is. This was the video Iran. So, by the way, this is a new video from the IRGC released overnight. And yes, that says, to the UAE, Habibi, when Big Brother leaves, we'll be alone. They wrote Habibi on the missile. Hi, Michelle. Those were the latest scenes again from Iran. Okay, and then as I mentioned, there were some attacks in by Hezbollah. There was also, as I mentioned, overnight in Sur, an attack on 3 Israeli vehicles. Okay, let me play you the latest from the Iranian foreign minister from Press TV.
Meanwhile, Iran's foreign minister says the Israeli regime mistakenly believes that targeted assassination of Palestinians will weaken their struggle against the occupation. Abbas Araghchi made the remark in a message offering condolences for the assassination of Hazam al-Hayya, the son of the Hamas political bureau chief Khalil al-Hayya. The top diplomat added that Israel fails to realize that such actions only strengthen Palestinians' determination to continue pursuing the goal of liberating Palestine.
That is true. That was in response to the assassination of the son of the Hamas political bureau chief yesterday in Gaza. The Pope, for his part, spent the 1-year anniversary of his becoming Pope talking about the Virgin Mother and kissing sick children. Here's the Pope in Italy today.
Sappiamo bene che la mamma è sempre
Hello,
con
Canapi.
noi. La nostra Madre Maria ci accompagna con la sua intercessione, il suo amore sempre con I suoi figli.
What a beautiful message from the Pope today. We took a look at the new Lego video yesterday. Here's the latest from southern Lebanon 5 hours ago. The town of Al Abbasiyah was attacked with a raid. There's the primary source footage from Al Abbasiyah in southern Lebanon. Here's the latest from the town of Al Abbasiyah on the ground as a result of that raid. Okay, so that was the result of the raid. Here's the Pope from the Vatican News Service getting a very nice hug from a disabled child who was thrilled to hug the Pope. Look how much this child loves the Pope. Oh, he gets a Pope, and watch how happy he is. Oh, he's just the most happy little child. That's great. That was from Vatican Media. Oh, that little child, he was like, he had gotten a hug from God himself. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. I showed you some of the impact damage from earlier at Dubai International Airport, which was struck today. Here's El Hanaya in South Lebanon, which was struck 4 hours ago by an Israeli raid. Multiple Israeli raids in the south of Lebanon. Here was the scenes above Bent Jabil in southern Lebanon. Just 3 hours ago. Okay, I'm going to go hang out with Towel Girlfriend in just 2 minutes. Here's the latest from Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. An FPV strike on an Israeli convoy on May 2nd in Bint Jabil. Hashtag rapid fire bonus towel news. Latest from Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. There'll be a memorial service for my grandfather, the former chief of fire in Newton, in June. Thank you very much for that. In Beirut, there was a parking lot on fire in a tent near the An Nahar building. Its cause is so far unknown. This was in the last hour. Just a tent burning in Beirut. Hashtag Towel News. Just 2 hours ago, there was an interception carried out over the western Galilee in Israel with no sirens or warnings activated. Right there.
Wow.
Okay. Taking you now to Beirut, where the army was ambushed while attempting to initiate an anti-drugs raid. As you can see, the army engaged with the hostile groups in Lebanon near Beirut. It was actually near the Al-Sharwana neighborhood in Baalbek, and the army was able to arrest the drug traffickers. There was also an explosion in the Iranian city of Kanarak today, according to local sources. Hello, Tiffany Bob. It's unclear what was the cause of this explosion in the Iranian city of Kanarak, but that is the primary source footage. Taking you now to more footage from Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, targeting military vehicles belonging to the Israeli army on May 6th.
وما رميت أنت رميت ولكن الله رمى يا لطيف الله يا زهراء.
Hi, Larson. Hashtag save the goats, even if it means bringing them back from Mars. I showed you the footage from the armored personnel carrier. I showed you the peace deal. Here is the latest from the raids on the Eastern Bekaa. Latest pictures from the Eastern Bekaa in Lebanon within the last hour. Constant Israeli raids. Okay. One more video from Hezbollah. Let's take a listen. And then we will be done for the day. The Hezbollah song. Cooking in the field with Hezbollah.
البحر باظة. نحب نقول للنسان ان احنا عم ناكل احلى اكل مثلنا مثلهم ما يقتلوا عنا والنصر هو صبر ساعة والله يصبرهم وينصرنا باذن الله ونقول له الشيخ نعيم كفي نحن معك ووراك.
Oh, it's hard to argue with my dear friend Larson. This is cooking in the field with Hezbollah. These are military images. This is the latest pictures from Hezbollah. These are military images in the field. Canned tuna indeed. Hezbollah certainly making a point, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that concludes our very quick broadcast day. That was just supposed to be coverage of a hearing, okay? That was just supposed to be coverage of a hearing. Here's the last update coming in right now from the Atlantic. President Trump is bored with the war in Iran. He's frustrated because there's no clear victory in sight. He wants to move to domestic politics, trade talks with China, and other priorities, but Iran keeps resisting negotiations and extending the conflict. Source, The Atlantic. All right, that concludes our hearing coverage. You might see me again today. You might not. I'm going to go hang out with Towel Girlfriend. Mishigama, it was great to see you. We can have one song on our way out. Let's see. I grabbed a bunch of good songs, and then we didn't even really get to listen to them because I had to cover the hearing. So we can listen to one song on the way out. All right, and then we'll do our traditional ending. All right, this one, we'll do 90210. All right. All right, let's do it. This concludes your broadcast day on Towel News. I might be back, I might not. I want to go hang out with Towel Girlfriend. You're all wonderful. Hi, Towel Girlfriend.
Feels like everything is starting to fall down.
God bless you, Larson.
Started running from Myles.
This is how we conclude our broadcast day.
You'll just fix me with your smile. So as it's getting later, gotta ask a favor. Do you wanna tag along if I run away? Just say okay. Hop in the whip, let's roll. Going to the 90210. Girl, you gotta stop staring at your phone. Too far gone, you would never come home. Yeah, I'm on my way, baby, right now. I don't got no plans for the night out, so we don't gotta talk no more. Just shut that door and we'll go for it. Driving too fast, having real fun. Yeah, I'm loving how you're looking in the shotgun. So keep going till we see the sun, and that's never done. So as it's getting later, gotta ask a favor. Do you wanna tag along if I run away? Just say okay. Hop in the whip, let's roll. Going to the 90210. Girl, you gotta stop staring at your phone. Too far gone, you would never come home. Hop in the whip, let's roll. Going to the 90210. Girl, you gotta stop staring at your phone. Too far gone, you would never come home. Why'd I ever think it'd be a good idea to cross the country with you? I guess that's my fault, yeah. But thinking it was cool. Guess I had poor judgment.
She is cool, though.
But you had compassion, yeah. All the time that we spent together, you was just acting. Now I'm low-key ashamed that I couldn't tell the truth from a lie. I wonder why. Probably cause I've been trapped under a spell. Yeah, she hit me on the day I left town. Said, where you going? I said, westward bound. All of a sudden she was interested. Still can't believe that I suggested. Hop in the whip, let's roll. Going to the 90210. Girl, you gotta stop staring at your phone. Too far gone, you would never come home.
One more Friday song.
Hop in the whip, let's roll. Going to the 90210. Girl, you gotta stop staring at your phone. Too
Then I'm
far
going.
gone, you would never come home.
One more Friday song.
Boat on the trailer, headed down to the dock. You know it's always happy hour when the cooler is stocked. I got a blonde hair beauty sitting right by
Then I'm
my
out.
side. And we'll be posted in a sandbox till the day that we die. Yeah, I think I'm loving this life more.
Thank you, Michigama.
Every day. 'Cause when we're drinking, we'll be drinking more than just one or two. We got Toby on the speakers preaching red, white, and blue. Life is better on the water, let me tell you the truth. There ain't no such thing as a
Great Friday song.
I went to Hollywood to make it big, but then I quickly figured out that I'm a small town kid. My collar's blue and my neck is red. On the intercoastal waters I was born and bred. Yeah, I think I'm loving this.
You too, Lavender and Rose.
Every day. 'Cause when we're drinking, we'll be drinking more than just one or two. We got Kenny on the speaker saying, take off your shoes. Life is better on the water, let me tell you the truth. There ain't no such thing as a football blue. Football blue. Yeah, the football blue. Football blue.
All right. Tippecanoe and Tyler, too quick, then I'm out. All right. President Washington. President Adams, President Jefferson, President Madison, President Monroe, President Adams Jr., President Jackson, President Van Buren. Then we got to skip forward to 13, which is President Fillmore. Then Tippecanoe and Tyler, too. So it's going to be Polk, Taylor, Pierce, Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, Garfield, Chester A. Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison, Cleveland, McKinley, Teddy Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, FDR, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush 1, Clinton, Bush 2, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump. How about them apples? God bless to you all. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching Towel News. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. Look for a reason to do a small act of service of kindness for people around you. Donate to our homeless veterans or our service members or their families or animals or the big issue in the UK, or smile at someone on the street. Reach out to a friend or family member you haven't heard from in a while. Or yes, even give away 200 tomato plants like Francis Rutrell did one time, having them designated honorary towels during the outro forevermore. Yes, in that way may we change about the current realpolitik for one centered on preserving, expanding, and demonstrating our power to one centered on preserving, expanding, and demonstrating our capacity to engage in small acts of service and kindness rooted in unconditional love, therein living up to our tau eudaimonia or sum and bonum, our greatest good in the ancient Greek or Latin respectively, and in turn bringing about a new digital epic defined by Aquarius, the water bearer, standing tall and carrying a towel. Was that fast enough for you? I am Cowboy Towel. I gotta go hang out with Towel Girlfriend now. Have a great rest of your evening, folks. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. Maybe we'll see each other again today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. God bless all of you. Thank you so much for supporting Towel News. Thank you so much for supporting me. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America. No national anthem today because it's under an hour stream. It was just a hearing. We only play those on longer streams. Good night. God bless you. Be well. Be safe. Thank you all so much for being you. Thank you for welcoming me into your home. It's 2:45 p.m. Eastern, U.S. Who the hell knows anymore time? Friday time, I suppose. On Friday, May 8, 2026, it is 8:46 p.m. in South Africa. It's 9:46 p.m. in Tel Aviv, Israel, and it's 10:16 p.m. in Tehran, Iran. Signing off for Towel News, my name's Grant Smith Ellis. God bless all of you. God bless you, Michigama, and Larson, and Lavender, and Rose, and Michelle, and Tiffany Bob, and Ozark, and so many of you.